This call is being recorded.
Awesome. Well, I have your chart. So, I have your chart shared so you can look along, but
But
yeah, I'm gonna email you all that. And please don't hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions you wanna ask or mention.
got
Totally
you.
sweet. Um, all right, that's what's up.
I'm
Yeah,
just moving to a solid spot real quick. My bad.
no, you're straight. That's cool. So we see that you were born in the year 2000,
Yeah,
which is dope. Um, and the first thing I want to do, um, I might have given this to you already, but just in case, I want to share the alien construct article.
yeah. I was
Um,
about to say I watched video you did for another client that you had that, and I went straight to that link.
oh, okay, cool. So you already got it. Cool. I'm gonna send it again anyway, just in case. But that's what's up. That is a prominent feature of your chart. I would say one of the most relevant parts of your chart. Um, And when I do a documentary, I definitely will hit you up as far as like, because I want to do a documentary on like every major, like certain major aspects or placements. And I feel like as one of the leaders of the new school, or rather the builders of the new earth, which I'll break down, that'll be very valuable. So, of course, Pluto Sagittarius is the very first of the God level signs to awaken, which is why I think that y'all are easily the most important generation of this at least decade and century. But yeah, Pluto Sag, Pluto Cap, Pluto Aqua, Pluto Pisces are the four Pluto generations that, with Pluto, awaken abilities, power, and character at the God level, because Sagittarius to Pisces is the God level. And now, as a Sagittarius sun, not only are you the entrance into godhood as far as like spiritual awareness at a God level, um, your soul is individual in Aries. So this gives you the wherewithal as an individual collective or an individual God. And then Leo is your social personality. So you literally bridge all the fire. This is like the archetype of a fire god or a fire master, because Sagittarius with the sun here really just speaks to ascension. But now, as a conduit of Pluto and Mercury, you literally channel through your sun. There's the moon, which is the vessel, and then your rising instrument. So you channel your spiritual awareness, which is ascended at the God level, to activate the power of Pluto and Mercury. So, this, of course, is psychic surgery, generating energy and power. But now the magic of Mercury enables you to harness this at the level of your brain to where you could just think about it. And then Chiron is here, which is even more powerful, because this is that creative ability to awaken and heal the inner children of others, just given like how passionate you are. Maybe you might not be like, oh, I'm going to awaken this person's inner child, but like
I
things that,
really do. I really do.
all right, that's what's up. So you can
Yeah,
say,
like I use like the that Akashic record allegory of the way that works for me is through shadow work and accepting of my youth years and being able to tangibly remember that. I can remember the nuances of what a person's currently lost in or currently stuck in, and
wow,
remember it from the 5-year-old me that conquered that thought pattern or something.
oh, that's deep. That's super deep. In fact, I see it doubly so, because your sun's in the fifth, and then your moon is fifth house from your sun. So it's like you have the Leo signature as a Leo rising with your sun in the fifth. This is like total royalty. So as as a royal, as a solar king, you have the vibration of original ascension, um, the warrior archer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
um that's a really huge deal, but I wanted to really harp on, you know Pluto going into Sag kicks off, it transitions with Saturn Pisces, but it truly kicks off Saturn Aries. Those are the sparkers of the concepts of the new world, or the leaders of the new school. And I feel like the leaders of the new school are Saturn Aries, Saturn Taurus, and Saturn Gemini. And you can say Saturn Cancer, but mainly those first three, the starter pack. And the Saturn Aries sparks the new concept, but then Saturn Taurus, y'all are the builders of the new Earth. So based on what new concepts are sparked, uh I think what is a very important generation or Saturn cycle, y'all are going to build on those concepts, ground them, and really prepare the foundation for the rest. And this is really important because Saturn, which is at home in the 10th house, is in your 10th house, which in Taurus and tarot is the 7 of Pentacles. So Taurus, being the slowest zodiac sign, really does kind of teach you this individual karmic lesson of patience and investments, and allowing things to really take their time to come into fruition. Because in the 10th house here, your legacy is involving this individual sense of karma, which is going to have you produce like ridiculous amounts of wealth. Even if the thing with Taurus is, yeah, it may take a while, but as soon as it gets sets up, it lasts forever. And, I think the only difficulty you may have, especially as a fire sign, is letting Saturn just construct your behavior and elements of how your body just kind of slows things down, or can kind of integrate these things so that you could really manifest this worth. And the coolest thing about that is we're going to have this eclipse in Taurus. Jupiter is going to be in your 10th. All Leo risings basically are clouding up, like it's manifesting this wealth, this notoriety with the eclipse. Like you're destined to manifest initial new sense of some kind of career or some kind of direction that you may have started to think about last year to 2021. Well,
Yeah.
right. I've been hyped for Leo risings for that too, because I'm
I
really
had
what that.
start of I'm sorry,
Are you straight?
start of COVID time. I was like the year before COVID happened, I actually was coming into remission from having cancer. And what was
Oh,
weird about that whole thing is that was the first time in my life where I felt like I had some imposing outside external force that made me do something. You know what I mean?
that's deep.
And so like those last 2 years, it's kind of been that's like where like the microsurgery or the inner child healing is within those what's a real confine and what's not,
That's
you
deep.
know.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because I don't know why. I know 2020 I healed from COVID and I felt like awakened power, but I feel like in your case, you healing from that remission, I feel like that's linked to Pluto. And you may have, like, literally Pluto power can heal utilizing sex, magnets, lasers, perform exorcisms. I feel like you have the ability to like cast your light and burn with your aura illnesses, diseases. You probably might be immortal, and I don't know if like you probably have like this phoenix fire ability to self-resurrect yourself if you should ever die, which once again is part of awakening these abilities on a god level. I truly, especially hearing that, I don't think you can die really, unless like,
Yeah.
so especially with Pluto, like with Chiron, I think you could also extend this towards healing other people, um, harnessing your fire energy and chi to just kind of burn impurities in others, which is like mind blowing. So yeah, we know that as uh, King Zavier, you are the original ascension expert, or you're the vibration of original ascension or original joy. Um, why this is also really important is you have the individual, social, and collective vibe. So you do kind of represent each level. Another example of this is Dolo, the pilot man. He's Aries Sun Sat.
Yeah.
So both of you have that Uriel plug, which is awesome.
And what's crazy is I one of my like monikers or golems you could say, like my rapper, I call myself Kaleidoscope Vision sometimes because life is just an entendre.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's super awesome. In fact, I'm glad you mentioned vision, because like Sagittarius, Virgo, Pisces, I don't have in my chart. I only have Gemini. So I'm really like I'm really interested, or I always find it interesting with people who have more than one mutable placement and how like perceptive you are. Like I just think, like I don't visualize, I don't really imagine, and I didn't realize how much of a legitimate skill and talent it is. Like I didn't know people who can do this. Like they literally see colors when they close their eyes, they dream vividly. So it really made me respect like that skill. And relative to Aries that you have in the ninth house, your soul, and this is what we both have in common, is ninth house moons. Our souls, although I will say your moon is a fifth house moon that falls in your ninth house because it's fifth house from your sun. But moons that fall in the natal ninth house, you're a soul teacher. So everything that you have the ability to literally teach yourself through your understanding of who you are. And you can also see who people's identities are within because of this sense of soul foresight. This actually also exalts an ascension state that your soul can creatively activate, which is cool because Sagittarius is a sign of ascension. So that's really kind of like super awesome once again. And so the ninth house, Aries Sun Leo rising is the sun god king, but the Sagittarius Sun Leo rising is another version of that because Sagittarius is God level anyways. It's the entrance into godhood. And so this is really a very creative endeavor. The reason why the Sag one is unique is because the ruler of the fifth house, the ruler of Leo is the fifth house where you have your sun. So it's a very unique aspect. And uh, y'all are the life of the party. I remember seeing a Sag lady with this who like just so vibrant and lights up wherever she goes. So it's really interesting because yeah, Jupiter opposite this in Gemini now juxtaposes the expansion of your true friends. Jupiter will hook it up and hook you up with angels and friends that can really help you, who are really true. Now, this is also opposite your Sag. So, like, you have the potential to marry your best friend in this lifetime. That's really the type of partners you're going to make, people who, speak your language and who you can truly, who truly belong with you, which is a really awesome axis. And now, the partnerships and where they belong in your life are going to be your biggest source of expansion and abundance through the ideas that you share with others and they share with you. Okay. And then also, that is lit because you have, and I can't wait to do a documentary on this facet where the Cancer rising version of Neptune and Uranus in Capricorn is actually Leo rising with Uranus and Neptune in Aquarius, which is a lot of people don't even know how like supreme that is and how powerful that is. So let me actually give you an idea of what it means with the previous generation. First of all, Jupiter trining Neptune is such a huge deal because Jupiter actively expands on the cosmic advanced nature of your intuition. Neptune in Aquarius, which is still grossly misunderstood because it is highly nonlinear. I think you have to be like a Sag, a Kappa, Aqua to really understand it because Sagittarius, like you said, with the kaleidoscope vision, gives you the all-seeing eye of God and the ability to view multi dimensions and multiple possibilities. And Neptune in Aquarius isn't really a linear intuition isn't even linear, but Neptune in Aquarius is going to have you pick up on stuff that hasn't even happened yet, that's like beyond this. And so the sextile of Sagittarius helps you know what you're seeing. That's the dope thing about having Sag and Aqua. Now, Jupiter will expand on what you're intuiting and be able to expand on the quality and material of what you say so that you can put words into what knowledge you're gaining intuition for. That exact 4-degree trine is really important and very, very magical. But once again, Cancer risings with Neptune and Uranus in Aquarius are unique in that they can feel other people. Like a Cancer rising with this can literally feel and read someone else's body language and see them do something on their body and feel why they're doing it. It is incredibly supernatural. So this
Yeah.
advanced version that you have, instead of feeling it, you already know. which is
Yeah.
very weird. Like to just look at someone, anyone who's in your seventh house, Neptune and Uranus is just giving you knowledge about them without you even coming into the context clues or details, which foregoes the whole process. And now, as having a second house Virgo, you have receipts anyway. So it's like you
It's
manage.
bodily too. It's like their little nuances, their quirks. Yeah.
And it's like as they do it, it's like you just know what it is, which is really interesting. And thank you for saying it like that too, because I feel like the Kirk's part is tied to Uranus, which is right on your DC, and the ruler of Aquarius too, which is also very important because you having it in its dignity puts you in a position to really increase the quality of what you know. And the coolest thing is now having Virgo in the second house means that you manifest receipts that confirm what you already know, kind of giving you the best of both worlds. So it's like you can pick up something that you didn't have any details, and then you'll manifest the details to be like, oh, I was right. I did know that, which is expressly supernatural. It's important to note that this isn't normal at all. So like it could be it could be dismissed or foregone. You can be seen as crazy, but I feel like the way you're able to show this to people, which is the key to Sagittarius showing, shows them this ascended magic. And I say Sag is the wow sign, Sag, Aqua, and Cap. But yeah, other than that, um, really badass. And then Venus 28 degrees is a really good look. That is, especially in the sixth house, is the disciplined nature of your heart that is mastered with integrity to powerfully, if anything, influence the quality of your lifestyle and routine. And on top of that, it also puts you in a position to manifest as a Sagittarius mad stacks. Venus, that is next to your Sag sun, is your ability and capacity to manifest value in a very organized and structured way. And then it falling into the sixth house is you using this manifestation ability to put your lifestyle together in order. So you're able to manifest in a way that integrates what you're manifesting into your routine. And then that trines to Saturn, which is super badass because Saturn strengthens the organization of that in a fixed way that doesn't necessarily go out of whack. Like everything that you're manifesting, you're able to sustain. And it might be a longer process compared to the fire energy you have, but this is what kind of gives you the best of both worlds here. For sure.
Relocating.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that the Venus trine Saturn, which of course is now 6 houses away from Sag. So the individual karmic element that you integrate your lifestyle with anchors your career, which I feel like this Venus trine Saturn is this ability to, whenever you make money, it doesn't fluctuate. Like as long as you keep on doing it, it's going to be steady, which is super badass. And then Mars squares Venus. So basically, this T square you have actually incorporates your nodes. So there's an element of your heart that you're actually, which is very important because your heart is the highest degree you have. So it's the most incredible part of you. I think it's the most valuable part of you, where you're very passionate, you know what I'm saying, but your heart is very grounded. It's has integrity. So with that being said, um the it's like you came into this lifetime anchoring all this in your heart because you're using your heart and its behavior and its values as a resource to feel into the spiritual path that you want to walk. But really, more so, you're using the structured nature of your heart in order to be the foundation to create new beliefs that you really feel. And it's important to really think about that because Capricorn is, in all senses, detached, like Aquarius, but Cancer is very sincere in its emotions. So the 12th house north node is actually very difficult because elements of your destiny are hidden, misunderstood, and probably won't make sense to most people. but you. In Cancer, it's an individual sign, so it's easy for you to rest on the rules with which you live according to others, or it's easy for you to rest upon not so much what the world thinks, but like that collective perspective and behavior around perhaps serving other people. This energy is almost like your destiny. The challenge for you is to be emotionally selfish, or not so much selfish. The challenges for you is, instead of focusing on what other people need, how can you use that to tie in together what you want, what you feel, you believe that only you might gain nourishment from. But it's even deeper, because this is also facilitating the individual. It's like you can isolate where someone needs to polish their lifestyle and get their shit together, so that you can help them discover beliefs that are unique to them that they feel. And Venus kind of isolates this nature of what's real about their lifestyle, so that they can now color in between or outside the lines. Does that resonate though? I want to make sure um it's
Yeah,
like,
and like the way that it plays out, with the 12th house north node, um, it's like the in conjunct to my Sag placements in my Chiron. So what hurt me young is stuff with like old caregivers when I was a little kid and stuff. And the way that that would translate is I see so many people with like little nuances or little small micro agreements to things that like set my soul on fire because it's that close and that deep to me. So that's
yeah.
kind of like the misunderstanding. But then I've been finding like um one, me not safeguarding that information and believing like I'm not some super special, because it's kind of like I feel like there's a lot of things that are created to make me feel isolated when I'm not really.
Oh,
So
that's deep.
I, you know,
Yeah.
and so I just believe that with full faith, and I go off of my emotions with that square from Aries to Cancer, and
Right.
I just go straight off of my emotions and jump into what looks like no man's land, and sometimes I stay there, but I feel like I always find Earth that's catching up to me, like
That's
like
deep.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean, like new faces, new beings that they would look at me for the last like week or two if they knew what my turbulence was and be like, bro, why are you even over there? Like, but
Right.
yeah,
You thank
it's outlining.
Thank you for saying that. The diving head first into no man's land was really helped me understand that. That's an amazing analogy, because I mean, especially in the 12th, like the challenge of the North Node is challenging, especially as a Sag Sun, because eighth house to you is also going to transcend your trust issues and intimacy, and who you feel willing to share what you have in your heart, because this is basically who you're willing to share your heart with. That's really your destiny, because you
Yeah.
have power in your heart too. So if anything is going to kind of lead to that. So I'm glad you mentioned the moon in Aries, because now that part of the T square is balancing the social actions you have. So you have a social attitude, but you have a very grounded behavior of integrity. So Mars in Leo is your desire to socialize as an extension of your Leo social personality. Because you're the main character, by the way. You're the performer on stage. So Mars in Leo is like the ability to read the crowd or read the social environment and actively know who to talk to. This is a legitimate social skill. It's this assertiveness of cooperation, versus the Mars in Aries that's going to be more individual. But you got Moon in Aries. So you already feel your own individual desire, and you're able to complete that. This is a really powerful, like, you feel what you want to do, but Mars is like, okay, I want to do this, but I can compromise and do this with that person. And so you know how to bridge both. Sometimes sometimes your moon will want to do something more on your own. Sometimes Mars will want to do something more with others, but you're able to bridge this very well. And that's where the T square, or the cross with the North Node and Venus, allows you to be able to balance when it's more necessary to share your heart with others, or to keep it to yourself. That's kind of like more the balance. But yeah, I mean, you're taking that social attitude, and then you're finding ways to ground it through Venus more practically, which that clash, of course, will only exist when you're not able to balance Venus and and that Capricorn and Venus there may not feel like socializing at certain times, whereas Mars might, you know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah, like I'll go home and I won't want to make a single song. I won't want to do anything. I'll go talk to somebody for like 15 minutes, whether I pull up on a girl or I pull up on some old friends that I'm not really that close with. And all of a sudden, I now have the motivation to go be alone and go make that song about my
That's
alone time.
wild. So while you're wanting to talk to someone, it's like, "Oh, I don't even wanna do this anymore, just
Yeah,
go."
it's almost like a fever dream because it's like and that's what I'm realizing now, kind of like when you were talking about earlier with the Taurus Saturn of it's difficult for me to just to submit to what I know is best, 10th house Saturn. But
Mhm.
once I do that, the reason it's difficult for me is because 8th house Pisces, I feel like I can come up with any
Yeah.
emotion and any feeling of why this might not be real and scare
Oh,
myself out of it, you know?
yeah. That's
But then
super
I realized I bring death to people that don't necessarily deserve it. Like there was this one girl I was talking to that I been knew I shouldn't have been around, and the more I just kept going around there, we both kept making conscious decisions to be dishonest to each other with the
Oh,
purity of the situation. We both just got reflectious states where her animals were dying. She's a very Venetian woman, and her
oh,
animals were starting to die and shit. Her dog bit her cat. We sent it to the vet. The cat had to
wow,
get its leg removed. Yeah.
that's deep, and I wonder if that's the effect of Pluto on your sun, because as it begins to awaken more, the south node unlocked it, I wanna say, yeah, as it begins to awaken more, you'll see more of the effects of that, especially, um yeah, thank you for saying that
Yeah,
because
you know what's crazy? I mean, I feel like I kind of owe telling you this because watching your videos get me so in tune to this Aquarian ability to like pinpoint where my subconscious is with the Neptune there, and
nice.
it's nuts, bro. I can literally like when I put death to a thought pattern, I hear sirens. Like, literally, and then yeah, I live out here too in Vegas, and the other day, one of the days that it snowed was when I finally broke ice, Scorpio, within my 3rd and 4th house, the people in my direct vicinity, and I finally told them, like, all the deep layered shit, and I was like, "Holy fuck, I just made it snow." Like, I was on
That
that.
shit is fucking wild, and that's the whole that's that's the whole tenet of your generation kinda showing people, "Hey, this is what we're doing," like this but I pre you just, gave me a light bulb moment, bro, because
Man,
that that's being at the God level. Like that's being collective. You're affecting shit for everyone collectively. And I like the symbolic nature of how you're able to tie it. Cause some people say they do these things and I don't doubt it, but like you kind of showed how it's literally manifesting the symbolism of what happened. That's crazy, bro. And I'm sure you'll be in a position by the time your Saturn returns to where you can control this like perfectly. So you're still like you're there, but you're still just mastering more
yeah.
elements. But dude, and this is why I'm so excited about the Pluto Sag generation because y'all taking it to that next level.
Man,
And
salute to y'all, bro. You, Dolo. Honestly, I really just watch YouTube, but I know there's great teachers elsewhere as well. But man, like, I literally just am a student and a hermit when I tune into you guys. It like validates all the Pisces 8th house shit I've ever
right,
schemed up.
that's awesome, bro. Yeah, I really appreciate this. I have another call right now, but I definitely love to keep in touch and probably link up while we're out here. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, you stay
Hey, you
blessed.
got me on a song, bro. You get so hey, I'm here at all times. You already put me on a feature on my Television account.
Really?
Yeah, this girl commented. You said it was that Four King cipher. And I sent you back a feature for it.
You did?
Yeah,
Did you email me that?
I did. It was kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie, but I will send it back. I was like,
Yeah, let me listen to that again. I don't even I didn't know it was you, I think. But let me see. Well, someone's about to call in now, but yeah, please shoot me that email and then we can go from there.
got you, man. I appreciate everything for real.
All right, you have a blessed week.
Yes, sir. Likewise. Peace.